Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time for my Week 6 Challenges Guide, featuring how to complete the Hotspot Stages Challenge very easily, how to use different vehicles in a single match super fast, and also we're going to be discussing the Secret Star, because there's been some confusion about that, so we'll cover that stuff as well as going over all of the other challenges for this week, so you guys can get them done in the fastest way possible, and unlock stuff for skins, you know the deal. But yeah guys, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button down below. I always appreciate it a ton, and on top of that, comment what tier you guys are at. I want to see how far you are along in the battle pass. For me, I am at tier, I'll put it up on the screen right there, as you can see. Are you further in the battle pass than me, close to it, whatever it is, leave a comment down below. But without further ado here, let's jump on into it with the overview for the challenges this week. And also guys, no face cam for today, I'm just a little bit tired, so sorry about that. But yeah, again, we're going to be discussing like the Secret Star type stuff and the confusion around that. And then for the challenges themselves, you have got deal damage to a vehicle driven by an opponent. Got some good ways to get that one done quick. Search chests at a hotspot stages. Show you exactly how to do that, or like where to go for those. Deal damage with SMGs to opponents. Land at location stages. Use different vehicles in a single match. I have an amazing spot to get that one done, guys. Like, it's by far the best. Also, eliminate opponents in the block or fatal fields and use a storm flip in different matches. So overall, some very interesting challenges. Those aren't in any particular order, but let's jump into it with the first challenge I want to cover in today's video, and that is basically use different vehicles in a single match. I said that I had an amazing way to get this one done, and I honestly do. I'm pretty sure it's probably the best way to do it, best way to get it done fast, one of those secret tips and tricks that I love showing you guys. So basically for this one, I'm showing you in game here with an example. I'm just doing this in Playground because it's easier to show you like where to go. Obviously you can't do the challenge in Playground, but again, it's easier to show you. So once you get into a match, doesn't matter, solo, duo, squads, team rumble, the place that you want to drop is over towards Junk Junction. The reason you want to drop over there is because once you go towards Junk Junction, you want to veer a little bit to go next to it, and then you will find this racetrack over in the open, and this racetrack has a bunch of vehicles at it. Now specifically, it has around 4 drift boards. I'm not sure if they always spawn, but as you can see, there are drift boards there, and on top of that, there are some quad crashers literally right next to it. So you can hop on the drift board, then run right over next to it and get on a quad crasher, and you have the challenge done just like that, super easy. On top of that, you can also check out the location that is those outposts sort of near Sunny Steps. It's in between Sunny Steps and like those 4 lakes or lagoons, whatever you want to call them, but that outpost has a ton of vehicles, so I do recommend that location as well. But the racetrack is definitely one of the best too. It has a ton of vehicles to grab, and you'll get this challenge done with that. Moving on to the challenge after that, this one is where you have to use a storm flip in different matches. Now for this one, you might think that there's really no tips I can give you about it, but that's not the case. I actually have an amazing way to help you guys find these even easier. Now I'm pretty sure this can help out quite a bit, or at the very least it can give you better chances of getting these storm flips in your game, because you do have to get it in 3 games, and that can take a little bit of time. But basically this trick has to do with Team Rumble. If you go into Team Rumble, you may have known from some of my previous tips and tricks that at the first 4-minute mark on the first storm, like enclosing, a bunch of supply drops will start to spawn on the map, and then after that, you know, at different times a bunch more supply drops spawn. But within those supply drops, I took a look at a few of them, and they can indeed spawn these storm flip bottles, and it's a pretty good way to go about getting them. So you know, when you're starting off a match, you can start out by looking for some chests near the circle and try and find a storm flip that way, and then as soon as those supply drops spawn, go into the circle, you know, knock down a few of the supply drops, open them up, and see if you can get one out of there. That's definitely the best way to go about doing it, and you can even maybe couple it with a couple of other challenges like the SMG Damage one, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the video. Moving on to the next challenge I want to discuss. This one is the search chests at a hotspot stages. So in case you forgot what a hotspot is, and also the other stages are search ammo boxes at a hotspot for stage 2, and then elimination at a hotspot, and that's 1 elimination, and then 3 for each the chests and the ammo boxes. But basically guys, if you don't remember, a hotspot is an area where those drones or whatever they're called are flying around the map. So when you pull up your minimap, you simply want to look for the yellow names and drop towards those locations. Take a look around, you should be able to find 3 chests. And before you even do that, I would recommend Team Rumble for this. I think it could help out a ton, especially since I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I remember that they said sometime that in Team Rumble more chests spawn, which can definitely help you get this challenge completed even faster. Now as for ammo boxes, you know, that's super easy, doesn't really matter. There might be more in Team Rumble, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And then finally for eliminations at a hotspot, obviously obviously you're gonna have to do these in different games. So for this one, I would then recommend just dropping into solo, going to the location that is the nearest one, and then getting an elimination there. Then keeping it going here, I wanted to bring up the star challenge because for this week, you may be looking for a star and there's definitely some confusion around what they're doing with the stars and stuff like that. Well, it seems to be that this week there isn't a star, but instead it's sort of like it's replaced with a Fortbyte. So with that being said, guys, you don't have to worry about a star challenge, and in fact, it seems to be switching off where like on the odd number of weeks, there is a star challenge, so next week we should have one. But as for the even weeks, there doesn't seem to be a star challenge. However, there is a Fortbyte today, and I heard some rumors on like Twitter and stuff that Fortbyte is number 58. So if that is the case, I'll show you where that is, and that one is accessible by using the sad trombone emote at the north end of Snobby Shores. If that's not the one, simply check the pinned comment down below. I'll give you guys like a mini guide for whatever Fortbyte is out this week. But if it is number 58, this is how you can find it. So basically, obviously, you have to equip the sad trombone emote. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it helps to have it on that first wheel. So to save yourself some time, simply go into your locker before going for this and equip it there. Now, as for the location of it, you basically want to go towards, well, Snobby Shores. You guys know where Snobby Shores is, and then you want to find the northernmost house, the one that's sort of more towards the villain's base. Now, once you're in front of that house, you should be able to see the Fortbyte show up, and then you're going to want to use the sad trombone emote to then unlock the Fortbyte so that you can actually pick it up. But yeah, guys, if that's not the Fortbyte that is live and like the rumors are wrong, simply check the pinned comment down below for a mini guide of whatever Fortbyte is live. But keeping it going here with the next challenge I want to discuss. But real quick before you get into it, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because I post these guides every single week, and being subscribed and having notifications turned on is a great way to know about them. But getting back into it, this one is the deal damage with SMGs to opponents, which is a pretty simple one, but there's still some tips I can give you about it. And also that is 500 damage, so make sure you get around 5 or so eliminations. You don't have to get the eliminations, but I'm saying like if an opponent has 100 health, 5 eliminations like in Team Rumble will get you this challenge done. Now with that being said, what is the best game mode to get this challenge done? As I already mentioned, Team Rumble, by far the best for this. Very, very easy to get damage in that mode because all you have to do is drop into a match, find an SMG, and then, you know, go into the final circle. You'll eventually get that damage done super easily. And on top of that, what type of item are you looking for? You are looking for, I believe, obviously we just got the new, I think it's called the compact version, but on top of that, I think also, actually, I'm not sure if there is another one. They've been vaulting and unvaulting a ton of items over the past couple of months, so I think it might just be the compact SMG. Correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, the compact SMG has been dropping a ton, so pick that up, get some damage with it, and you'll get this challenge done easy peasy. Keeping it going here with the next challenge then. This one is a bit of a tough one, but I have some ideas to hopefully help you guys finish this one and get it done. But basically, the challenge that I am talking about right here is the one where you have to deal damage to a vehicle driven by an opponent. This one is definitely tough because, you know, being able to find an enemy that's driving a vehicle is sort of random, right? Well, pretty much all of the time, but there are a couple of tips I can give you about this one. Now, the first of which is to maybe go to that spot I showed you, or those two spots. You want to either go to the racetrack near Junk Junction. You know, you could be nice and let people complete their challenge, and then when they're maybe driving away, try and deal some damage. Try and be sneaky with it. You could also do the same thing at Frosty Flights. Try and see if somebody takes a baller. Frosty Flights has a lot of those, and it's a common spot that people drop. So I do recommend that as well. I guess those are two different, slightly different ways of doing it, but it can definitely be a possibility. You could also try dropping at the nearest outpost, but that's probably not the best. Then on top of that though, and this is kind of a funny way to get a challenge done, and actually I guess I'm not 100% sure if this does count because I've never really tested if challenges count in arena, but yeah, you would want to go into arena because if you do have a lot of points in those later circles, a ton of people are using the baller vehicle, so you can just go for damage that way and maybe get this challenge done. Other than that, you know, just be patient, hope to find somebody in a vehicle and get some shots off. But those are the tricks I can give you for that one. Keeping it going here with the next challenge I want to talk about though. This one is a little bit easier, but I still got some good tricks for you, and that is the eliminate opponents in the block or fatal fields. Now for this one, very unique. The block is not often one that is in the challenges, but when it is in the challenges, it's always interesting because it's such a unique place to drop. Got some interesting items and stuff like that there. But for this challenge, personally, I would actually avoid going there because not a ton of people always go there. I mean, I guess sometimes if it's close to the battle bus's path or the start of the battle bus's path, definitely worth going there. But if you want like where there's going to be a consistent amount of people, definitely go towards Fatal Fields, because you can always find a few people there, so it's not always super busy to get your 3 eliminations, but you can definitely get it done there. On top of that, as always guys, I recommend solo for this one, not Team Rumble, because it's almost impossible to get these types of challenges done in Team Rumble due to the lower player counts in the lobbies. I mean, you've only got like, what, 20 possible people landing at a spot. Definitely not worth it, so for sure I recommend solo. And then for the final challenge I want to go over in today's video, that one is the Land at Location Stages challenge, which is pretty easy overall. And honestly guys, I really wish they would stop doing this challenge, because personally I find it kind of annoying. I also find the Fortbytes a little bit tedious to do, so hopefully next season they don't do the Fortbytes. In fact, comment down below, do you want them to do the Fortbytes next season, or maybe like include them weekly? I hope they just like include them in the weekly challenges. That would be like a lot easier to do. But sorry, I'm getting off track here. Basically for the Land at Location stages, that is right. You want to obviously, you know, mix this in with other challenges. Try to do them at the same time to maybe save a bit of time, because you do have to land at 5 different locations, which is always super tedious. So being able to save time by coupling it with another challenge, trying to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, can definitely help, especially if one of these locations happens to be like a hotspot. So you know what, actually for that, if you happen to get lucky and have a hotspot at one of these locations you need to land, works out great. And then for the exact locations, you have number 1 is Land at Lucky Landing, and then the next one is Loot Lake, followed by Shifty Shafts, Frosty Flights, and then Haunted Hills. So like Frosty Flights could be good for maybe trying to get some damage on enemies that happen to be using a vehicle. But yeah guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more weekly guides coming out in the near future. And on top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, going over a new event and new challenges coming soon, and then on the right, my week 5 challenges guide if you still need it. But other than that guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.